try at linear inequalities in one variable. Oh, we have to take a quiz first. Better do that. Remember, the advantage of taking quizzes is that you can reduce some of the amount of homework that you have to do. So I'm going to just quickly go through it. You don't need to... I'm going to do it differently than you do since I have to get them all wrong. So I'll just submit it right away. There were only 8 questions on this quiz. Now we can do the assignment. Linear inequalities in one variable. That's, I believe, where we are. Aren't we? Okay. As it says, take the quiz that's associated with this lesson. Any question you get correct will lessen the number of questions you need to do in the homework. At least look at each quiz question to see if you can do them. Remember, you can do the quiz later for full credit. Inequalities, that's what we're doing today, can be solved in a manner similar to that used to solve equations. Think of the inequality sign as though it were an equal sign. Students in the face-to-face section take about 20 minutes less than those online students. Watch the video to get the help you need. Keep up with your study plan. We're getting close to the end of the semester, or the end of the unit, so it's 15% of your grade. Okay, rewrite the equation, the inequality, so that it's a greater than sign rather than a less than sign. So in other words, what we need to do is we need to switch everything around on this problem. So it was negative 16 is less than 0. Switch the 0 and the negative 16 around means we have to switch this to the other direction too. So we would write 0 is greater than negative 16. 0 is greater than negative 16. All right, number 3. Translate the following. 3p minus 4 is less than or equal to 9. So we have to use the less than or equal to symbol for that problem. Number 4. X is less than or equal to negative 4. Now there's something that you have to pay attention to, and this would probably be a good thing for you to write in your notes over here along the side. Oops. Remember how we were writing Cornell notes. If you see a sign that's less than, okay, when you use the arrowheads, you will use a parentheses going in that direction, okay? If it's less than or equal to, you will use a bracket going in that direction. If it's greater than, you will use a, oops, wrong direction. You'll use a parentheses going in that direction, and greater than or equal to, it'll be a bracket going in that direction. So for this particular problem, we have less than or equal to negative 4, so it's going to be this one. This one would be greater than or equal to negative 4, and this one would be less than negative 4, because you notice it's got the parentheses there. So we'll choose letter B for this one. And then the correct interval notation, you always go from left to right, so it starts at negative 8, and it goes up to negative 4. Infinity is always a parentheses, it's never a bracket. Number 5. So now x is between negative 7 and negative 2, and make sure you use brackets on both ends because it's less than or equal to. Okay? And the solution set in interval notation, so we would use bracket, because it's going to, oops, bracket. It's going to, come on now. bracket. It starts at -7, and then it ends at -2, and then we close bracket. Okay. Solve the inequality. As I said before, when you solve inequalities, you treat them just as though they were equalities. 5x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 40. Subtract 5 from both sides, and you have 5x is greater than or equal to 35. Divide both sides by 5. You get x is greater than or equal to 7. So the solution set is, now we have to use the interval notation, it says. No, I got to get it back up here again. What does it say? Greater than or equal to 7. Okay. So interval notation will be, since it's greater than or equal to, we'll use the bracket 7, comma. Now we have to get the infinity symbol here. Got that? And that ends in parentheses. Okay, so from 7 to infinity is letter B, because it's greater than or equal to . All right, number 7, another inequality. So let's solve this inequality. 2x plus 8 is less than 26. Subtract 8 from both sides. You get 2x is less than, 18. Divide both sides by 2. X is less than 9. So negative infinity to 9 is where we go. All right. And since it's less than 9, it'll be this one. And I believe that's the end of that one. Then or equal to 3c. So let's multiply out the parentheses. So we have c minus 2c plus 24 is less than or equal to 3c. We have negative c. If you combine these two, you get negative c. So let's add c to both sides. So we have 24 is less than or equal to 4c. Let's switch it around. 4c is greater than or equal to 24. Divide both sides by 4. We have c is greater than or equal to 6. So solution set in interval notation is bracket 6, comma, infinity, close parentheses. Next part. So from 6 to infinity would be letter C here. Oops. And is that the end of it? Number 9. Oops. Try it again. Number 9. Now we've got a compound inequality. So negative 1 is less than x plus 4 is less than 12. Whatever we do, we have to do on both sides of the inequality. So I'm going to subtract 4 from everything. So negative 5 is less than x is less than 8. They wanted an interval notation, so we start with negative 5. Notice it's parentheses because it's less than, and it goes up to 8, and it ends at 8. So parentheses, negative 5, comma 8, close parentheses, and it's going to be parentheses at negative 5 and 8 at both ends. Number 10, translate. 2 more than. Notice the difference between 2 is more than and 2 more than. Whenever you see the word than, you switch the order. So 2 times a number goes first. Plus 2, because it's 2 more than that. So 2x plus 2 is at most 6. Well, since it's at most 6, that means it's less than or equal to 6. Because it can be right up to 6, but it can't be over that. The solution set in interval notation, okay, so we need to solve that first. Let's solve it. Oops. So we have 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to 6. Subtract 2 from both sides. 2x is less than or equal to 4. Divide both sides by 2. X is less than or equal to 2. So the solution set is negative infinity, so parentheses, negative infinity, comma 2, close bracket. Number 11. Find the unknown numbers in the description. So this is kind of a word problem, basically. 1/5 of a number, let's call it n, is added to, oops, I had to start this over again. 1/5 of a number is added to 6. Whenever you see the word to, than, or from, switch the order, giving a result of at least 4. Now, since it says it's not equal to 4, it says it's at least 4. So in other words, it's going to be greater than or equal to 4. Let's subtract 6 from both sides, and we get 1/5 of n is greater than or equal to -2. Multiply both sides by 5. N, these will cancel, is greater than or equal to -10. So in interval notation, we would have, bracket, -10, comma, infinity, close parentheses. Bracket, -10, comma, infinity, close parentheses. Number 12 is solve the inequality. Oh, come on now. Solve the inequality and graph the solution set. So we have x minus 8 is greater than or equal to -4. Let's add 8 to both sides. And we get x is greater than or equal to 4. So we bracket 4, comma, infinity, close parentheses. Bracket 4, comma, infinity, close parentheses. So we're starting at 4 and we're going to infinity. And that's it. So we'll see ya.